What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn, and today we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about wholesaling pre-foreclosures, and I find this as a topic, actually, people like to talk about pre-foreclosures, but they don't actually tell you how to wholesale a pre-foreclosure. And I love this part of the business. And I'm going to tell you the good with the bad because there's so much opportunity here, but you have to understand it. You got to understand what the pitfalls are, what the challenges you're going to face when wholesaling it, and you got to understand the really big opportunity in it. And that's what we are going to jump on today. And I have done, I wish I could count how many of the pre-foreclosures, but a lot. I mean, well over 500 just in the pre-foreclosure category. So we're going to actually go in and define everything, what a pre-foreclosure is. And I'm going to show you, I promise you, if you stay with this video, I'm going to show you the sweet spot, the opportunity. And most importantly, I think you'll learn here is you're going to learn the types of pre-foreclosures to avoid. The time suckers, the ones that will just talk you to death, but they're never going to do a deal with you. Guys, I had a 5-year journey doing those types of deals, and I am all about it. So like, I have over 20 years experience doing this. I'm just telling you, if you pay attention within this next hour and you want to focus on wholesaling pre-foreclosures, I will give you the tips that you're never going to get from the gurus without paying a ginormous program. And honestly, most of them don't have nearly the experience I do. Well, a majority of them. There are exceptions to the rule. So, guys, if you like this comment, if you like this type of videos, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button. Oh boy, a lot of people on today. Make sure you smash that like button, and make sure the like button, because that helps people get in contact with this information. And make sure you subscribe to the channel here. I also have a personal channel, Rick Ginn, which I bring a little bit more personal stuff home. And guys, we're going to have fun today because today is a special day for me. And I'm going to share a little bit later in the video. And it's kind of cool. And I've debated, do I share this on my personal channel here? It's up to you guys. If we want to talk about it, we'll do it. So first and foremost, we always talk about wholesaling because that's what we're focused on. I feel that everything else we talk about is a distraction. I'm not going to talk about coins. I'm not going to talk about the stock market. I'm going to only teach you what I'm best at because I don't want to waste your time. So that's it, guys. So make sure you're subscribed. And guys, you have the comment section. Make sure you use the comments. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what market you're working in. And if you guys missed the live stream yesterday, my God, you missed a really big announcement from me and Zach. We have taken on a ginormous project to do 1,000 deals with you guys. And I know that sounds ambitious, but honestly, we have been patient. We have spent time with you guys, and we've spent the last 3 years teaching you guys how to do wholesaling 100% for free. We're earning your loyalty. We're earning your trust. And honestly, we're flipping the whole guru industry completely upside down because every guru tells me, dude, what you're doing, it's wrong, man. Like you're going to burn a lot of bridges. I'm okay with that. I don't care. The truth has to be spoken. And that's what I'm here for. And you guys know I'm like raw, I'm authentic, and I'm going to tell you how it is because I have fought your fight in wholesaling journey. And I find like, it's frustrating to me. Nobody shares the other side of the journey because this business is phenomenal and it's changed so many people's lives. And for the most part, everybody who's ever touched wholesaling can agree on that. But the one thing we're not going to agree is like how we're going to pilfer people on a 95% failure ratio. So I love you guys. I love you guys tuning in. This is going to be a lot of fun today. So what we're going to do is get into the teachable part, and then we're going to open up and we're going to talk about it. And I got some pretty cool stuff to share. So have fun. And then guys, if you want to go live, I see a ton of you guys on the live. It's first come, first serve. I work through you. And remember, when you do the masterminds with us, because we don't charge you, let's work on solutions. If you come on here and complain for 2 or 3 minutes, it's just, you're not helping yourself out. So you got to replace excuses with actions. And you guys understand how this works. So if you guys have never heard of me, my name is Rick Ginn. I've been wholesaling for over 20 years, and I just love this business. And I've never sold out and said, listen, I'm going to be a guru, because honestly, I could probably make a ton of money doing it. I know I could. The offers I've gotten are ridiculous, but I wouldn't be happy. And if you guys understand, money's great and money solves a lot of problems. But if you're truly not happy and authentic in what you do, I find a 95% failure rate. I would lose sleep at night, and I don't like it. And I've been victim of it. A lot of you guys on this live have been victim of it, and I just want to cure it and I want to fix it. So we're doing it in reverse order. So if I get 100 people that want to go all in wholesaling, and I find 5 of you that want to knock it out of the park, I'll run with you. So if you guys want to JV with us, I'm going to show you how to do that. We have no fees. We have nothing, but you have to bring deals. And I'm going to be truthful with you, because when you don't pay me, I can tell you the truth. You see, when you pay a guru, you're going to get the fluff experience for a while. They have to. But when you don't pay someone, it's like when you have your parents sit down with you and have that hard conversation, and it's unpleasant, but it helps you become a better wholesaler. And that's what I'm here for. So let's get into it. Let's talk about pre-foreclosures. And what I want to start out with doing is, you've got to understand. So pre-foreclosure is basically when a homeowner starts to miss payments on their property. Now, keep in mind, the banks never own it. They just service it. They fund it, they sell the paper, but in the end, they service it, and they charge the owners, which is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, for the most part, of the properties we deal with. And when they get behind on payment, they can enter into a legal maneuver to get their asset back, to get their money back. So a pre-foreclosure is anything before they sell the property. And that's how you get to a foreclosure auction. So I tried to think of like how I can condense this and make everybody completely understand this. So follow me, and I'll take you through the journey here. So let's see here. So it's actually, I'm just going to go through the mechanical steps first, because people way overcomplicate this. So the easy parts I'm going to give you up front. So we've already talked about what a pre-foreclosure is. I don't want to spend a lot of time and energy doing that, because my favorite thing is coming out and talking to you guys. But we all have to learn, and we have to entertain. But you know what? I'm feeling like we're kind of missing something here before I get into it. Wait a minute. I know what it is. Dude, you guys got to get pumped up, man. It's like, I want you to get to the point where you don't know the difference between a weekday and a weekend, because that's the world I live in, and wholesaling can get you to that journey. But if you got ADHD like me, and you get like hyper focused, and like you'd like to have fun, and you think education for the most part is super boring, here's what you got to do. Let's get pumped up, guys. Let's go.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, get the guy, go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
That's it, man. That video describes me. So it's a lot going on in that video. I like to have fun with it. So I think we got to break it up in the monotony and actually have fun while we do it. So the beauty of wholesaling is you get to choose who you work with. You don't choose the properties choose you. And so we're back to talking about foreclosures. I could play that song all day. I actually thought about playing it like the background, but you'd probably get me too hyped up and my ADHD would probably take over. So we define what a pre-foreclosure list. So let's just go through the simple mechanics of how to do it, so you guys don't overanalyze it, because most of you way overanalyze this. And I'm going to give you the kind of the easy parts of it. So number one, if you want to get in doing pre-foreclosures, you just got to get the list. And here's the good news. This is the easiest list of them all to get. The easiest. You can get them at your physical courthouse. You can physically pull them. They actually post them up on boards in my courthouse. And that's how I learned to start doing it. Fast forward 20 years from when I started in 2003, you can get a majority of them online. So you will not get resistance here. I'm just telling you, this list is extremely public. They can't hide it. That's the point of a foreclosure, to make the homeowner take action, either get their mortgage caught up and get it corrected, or get the property sold. The whole point of a foreclosure is make it very, very public, because that's when you get a mortgage, there is an obligation with it. So number one, getting a list. We're not even talking about getting a list. It's too easy. If you need help getting a pre-foreclosure list, we got to talk, because you don't have to know anything about wholesaling. Anybody can get this list. The next step on the list, I know this is like cookie cutter, but it's just make contact with them. How you make contact is completely up to you. I highly recommend cold calling. In the old days, I did the door knocking thing. And I kind of liked it because it toughened me up super quick. If you've ever been rejected with door-to-door sales, which I did a lot when I was young, because I always felt I wanted to like have unlimited learning opportunities. I just found wholesaling later in my life. It really toughens you up. So you can simply skip trace their number. You can use truepeoplesearch.com free, or you can go to listrei.com and you can find the phone number. It's not hard to find these people. I'm just telling you. And there's not like 400 people on this list. Once you do it, you're going to reach out and you're going to talk to them, make contact. I know this is like super basic, and I'm just going through the mechanics, and I'm going to give you the secrets to it. And at this point, nope, I'm going to put this one up. You're going to write an offer and calculate. And this is where a lot of you guys get stuck. Like, how do I know how to make a correct offer in pre-foreclosure? So number one, you have to qualify your pre-foreclosures. You're going to have to spend a lot of time, and I'm going to go into details of the pitfalls on this. So a lot of people avoid pre-foreclosures because they feel like the amount of drama and energy they have to deal with people is annoying. And I get it. And it is. And I'm going to go over that. But here's what happens is, when it comes down to say they're motivated and they want to sell, is a lot of times you don't know how to make the offer. So number one, you've got to know what they owe on their mortgage. How do I get that information? Number one, you can find it on listrei.com, or ask them. It's not hard. Just ask the seller. They typically know. Now, if they owe 150 grand on their mortgage and they've missed 3 payments and each payment's $1,000, I would add that 3 grand on top of it. I want to be ultra conservative in my number. And the further you get along with it, once it gets past 6 months, you got to add like another 5 grand for like attorney's fees on it. So add the numbers up and then figure it out. So if they, and remember, the longer they've owned the property, sometimes they pay it down. They just got behind. So you have to find out what the debt obligation is on the property to figure out. A lot of pre-foreclosures I deal with, a lot of them, like the seller's getting very little to no money. The sooner they contact with you, the more options you're going to have with it. And then once you make that offer and you're helping them solve a problem, it is your obligation to track this foreclosure, pre-foreclosure. Why? Because you don't want an auction date to sneak up on you. Sometimes it takes time to get them out of the property, get your cash buyer in there, and you have to track it. Because if you fall asleep, I fell asleep at a lot of them when I first started this. I didn't understand the auction was coming up 3 months later, and I waited around and I lost out on my deal. So what I want you guys to understand right now, that's just the mechanics. And honestly, you can get any of that information on the internet. I promise you, I didn't blow you away with that content. That's 95% of what you're going to get in a guru course. And you paid for that information. That's the sad part. So let's talk about how this really works. So I'm going to teach you what we call the sweet spot. You ready? This is my 20 years summation of pre-foreclosure. And if you pay attention here carefully, you will know how to deal with anybody in a pre-foreclosure, and you can evaluate if it's worth investing your time and see if it's something that you can help out with. So the sweet spot, and it's called the sweet spot. So if you guys are okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to show you the graphic. And I've already pre-written it up so I don't like waste time going over this. So actually writing it out. So I know I should have been a doctor with my handwriting, but it is what it is. So if you see on here the pre-foreclosure, so this is where you start with a homeowner when they start to get in default. And the numbers just represent the months they get behind. So you see this highlighted area, I call it the action zone. This is the sweet spot for pre-foreclosures. Why? Because here's what happens. If you've ever had a debt obligation and you started to miss payments, I know I have when I was a lot younger. I was terrible with this. Once you get that first notice, it's shocking. You're like, oh my God, they're going to take the house. What are we going to do? You have difficult conversations with the family, and just you're petrified. The anxiety takes over. And usually by they get the second notice, because it turns like colors. And I always knew when I got to the red notice, I'm in trouble. And usually the red notice will wind up by around month 3. Now, in the first month or so, they might just get like a letter and an email. By month 2 and 3, they're getting hardcore phone calls in the evening, and there's people really pushing them. If you don't do something, we're going to have to file what we call, and usually around, now this isn't exact science, but usually between 3.5 months and 5 months, they go for what they call a notice of default. And without getting into legal terminologies, it's just a legal notice like you're in default. We now want to move forward and file a court action. I'm not going to get the legalities of it because I am not a lawyer, and I really don't care about that part. And remember, you need to research your state laws when it comes to foreclosure because all states are a little bit different. So there's all different types of legal definitions. I don't want to do that video because that's a video in its entire self, and I prefer a lawyer to do it than me. But most lawyers are going to put you to sleep. So let's face it, by month 3, maybe you call it 4, I call it 3.5 months. If you can't get somebody in pre-foreclosure to take action here, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's like, because here's what happens. They cross over this thing, and what are they? It's the river, you know that fancy river over in Denial? It's called the denial zone. And what happens? They go, well, it's been 3 months. They haven't taken the house, honey. Let's just sit tight and not pay the mortgage. This is a pretty good deal for us. And when you catch them in this denial zone, it's torture. This is what we call the friend zone. And you know what I'm talking about with this. It's that person you want to date, but they don't want to date you, and they keep you on standby, and they keep you a close friend and tease you. Guys, if you get stuck in this stage, move on. It's not going to work out. You cannot force a deal. You cannot make them do it. And if you avoid the denial zone, the friend zone, you will be very successful with pre-foreclosures. And this part is what takes most wholesalers out. Guys, I'm giving you my visual picture of what happens. Nobody shares this in courses because they run you over with go get the list, get a contract, write an offer, sell it to a cash buyer. That's all correct. But here's the data of 20 years to tell you, if you get in this sweet spot, you've got to just move on. Listen, give me a call if something changes. Now, here's what's going to happen. If you can't get a deal here, then you can go find other people that want to work with you. And this is when procrastination kicks in its highest form, and they will use you like a wet, dirty rag. And I don't want, guys, you didn't get in this business to have someone drag you through the mud and never do a deal with you. And then what happens is, I call this the Hail Mary zone. Right before the property goes to auction, hey, Rick, I'm ready to do a deal with you. I got to work with you. We got to get it done. Great. Let me run some. No. We got to do a deal today. I need it done today. Well, what's going on? I have an auction in 3 days. And every time, and by the way, you will get hammered with them in the Hail Mary zone. And I'm here to tell you, unless you have a lot of experience, you have a team, and you have some sort of legal help, this is a hard way to do a deal as a new investor. I would tell you avoid it. You'd be better off pairing up with someone in your market that has money, has a lawyer on hand, and a lot of times you have to fund a lawyer just to save off the auction date. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it, but as a beginner strategy, it is a nightmare. And then you guys are going to run around with your head cut off here, and you're not going to make any money. And you know what? The reality of this situation right here is there's no money left in the deals. They've ran it up. They haven't made payments in almost a year. The lawyer's fees are out of control. There's court fees. And a lot of these properties wind up in what we call the short sale zone, which I'm not, guys, I've done a lot of videos on short sales. I'm just telling you, trying to do a short sale right before an auction date is a nightmare. And honestly, short sales are a nightmare to begin with anyways. I could go through the history of short sales because I've done over 300 of them. But like today's environment, short sales, it's a pain in the butt. And I don't highly recommend it to you because you have to work with realtors in the whole 9 yards. So guys, focus in on the action zone. So if you're targeting pre-foreclosures, the sooner you can catch them, the better your odds of having success. If you just get one thing from this video, take it, guys, because it is a game changer. I hate that word. I apologize for using it. I know it's a guru word, but I'm just telling you, this piece of data right here is 20 years of me busting my butt with people in pre-foreclosure. Do not get caught in that denial zone. And when it comes to the Hail Mary stage, there's only so much you can do. I always tell people at the Hail Mary stage, are you willing to fund a lawyer? And if you're not, I cannot do it for you. Now, I do work in the Hail Mary stage because I'm very good. I know the attorneys, I know the judges, but like it's 20 years experience. So if you just started today, I don't want you in the Hail Mary zone. And you're going to get all excited. Let me know in the comments. Anyone's ever got excited with someone call me and go, oh my God, they want to do a deal with me. They want to do a deal with me. Yeah, but like it's 3 days from auction. Are you willing to fund $1,500, $2,000 just to try to even stop it? And even that is a risky deal. So typically you have people that are going to put up money and risk with it. And I'm here to tell you, you want to really avoid this. So what I'd like to do, let me take this off. Let me see if I can share real quick. Okay. Let's see if I can, you guys know I'm not I'm technologically challenged, especially without Zach doing this. Okay, let's say share screen. Okay, forget that. I was going to show you, I have a graphic that shows you the pre-foreclosure process. If you want to learn more how to do it, go over to freewholesaling.com. We share the steps from start to finish in a more detailed scope and what you can kind of understand. But let me kind of go back to the lesson here. And I'm going to wrap up, and I promise you we're going to talk. We're going to have a really good time today. So you know what the sweet spot is. Here's the downside. There's a lot of drama with pre-foreclosures because keep in mind, the real estate is just an asset. It's a number. The reality of what we do as wholesalers is how can I say it? We deal with human problems, and we deal with the human emotion more than anything. And you are solving not their personal problems, but how it ties to the real estate. And the real estate's usually their biggest problem because it's their biggest asset. And you're going to get a lot of drama. So when you deal with people in pre-foreclosure, your listening skills have to be incredible. 80-20 is a given. I'd almost switch it to 90-10. So if you cannot deal with listening to people's problems, don't get in the pre-foreclosures because it is exhausting. And some of you, like, if you're a lot like me, it's like, I feel for these people. Like, I hurt when they hurt. And I know, like, oh, we got to be businessmen and separate, but like, here's the reality is we're all human beings. I mean, I've heard about like every horror story. It's challenging. And you've got to understand that there's a lot of drama. And if you're a cold person and you're very calculated, it's hard in pre-foreclosures because you're going to have to meet somewhat of their emotional dumpage when they do it. So what you have to do is take that information. You have to be empathetic. You have to be understanding. And then you have to help track them, give them a solution. And it is overwhelming sometimes. So some of them just don't work. Some of them have no money, and you got to know that up front when you underwrite the deal. And then the biggest thing we have to deal with is procrastination. And I just gave you the cure for it. It is avoid the friend zone, avoid the I'm not going to take any action, the denial zone, because that is where I used to just pull my hair. And so my hair's turned a lot grayer since, but I'm not complaining because I do have hair, so I'm okay with it. So it's something, people can't control, but I'm here to tell you, you've got to understand how it works. And procrastination is what you're dealing with. Everybody in pre-foreclosure, they always think they have more time. They always think they have an out and a solution. And no matter what you say, you can't change them in the procrastination mode. So what do? You just go, hey, let me know if anything changes. You can send them a follow-up email. Just do not spend all your energy and go back and focus in on the action zone, because those are the people that want to do a deal with you. Okay. You have to focus on solutions. You have to. Like, people like, oh, if I could just get a moving truck, if I could do this. I find pre-foreclosures, those are the ones that you have to solve a lot of problems. Sometimes transportation. I can't tell you how many people I gave a ride to a title company to get it done. And I don't recommend doing that now. In today's age, I would get an Uber or a Lyft, because the liability if you get an accident is problematic. Now, back then, I did whatever I had to do. Just like most of you will do whatever you have to do to get a deal. Like, that's what I did. But like you have more options now. My wife used to complain, she's like, why does the car smell so bad? I'm like, I had to take his dog. I had to bring the cat. Like, wife's like, why did you do that? I go, look in the bank account and I'll tell you why. She's like, oh, okay, never mind. And it's so funny how we have to rationalize what we do in wholesaling. It's just, I love it. So let's get to the final part of this, because I'm trying to make this short and sweet today. I love pre-foreclosures, just understanding, knowing what you're getting into. If you're not good at listening people, these are the most dramatic type of sellers you will ever deal with. And I understand if you've ever been behind on, if you've ever had the fear of losing your own home, it sucks. So it's like, I'm just telling you, you don't want to be there and you want to help people. And if you're very mechanical, like if you're a cold call and you're calling like 1,000 like FSBOs, you have to be mechanical. But when it comes to pre-foreclosures, you have to slow it down. Guys, just like I teach you on probates, he or she who listens the most in probates wins. Like, that's it. Pre-foreclosure is a little bit different, because probates, you already know what the predominating problem is. There's been a death in the family, and all you can do is sit back and listen. So if you've ever been in this situation, all people want to do when they reach out to you is they just want someone to talk to. So what are their choices? They got their family. Let's face it, family don't listen. Hopefully my family's not watching. Number two, they can go to a therapist, but that's going to cost a couple $100 an hour, and most people don't have the money to pay for it. Or maybe this guy that says he can help out in foreclosure can help me out, or this gal. And you have to become like that person, because the minute you do not engage and listen to them, they're going to find someone that will help them out. So you've got to understand that getting into that, and that's what you want to do. So let's talk about the final part, the huge advantage of pre-foreclosures. So obviously there can be a ton of money on them. Some of them get a little bit skinny. Some have no money in it at all. It's up to you to determine by calculating what the debt on the property is. It's very public information. And then you just got to run your comp numbers. So you can use Zillow, you can use Trilio, you can use listrei.com, whatever you're comfortable with. Guys, you don't have to pay for these services. It's all at your fingertips. When I started wholesaling, I had none of this. I had to go sit with a real estate agent every time. It was painful. It was hard, but I learned to develop. But as much as I complain about it, it taught me how to build relationships with realtors. And I was secretly building a skill that was going to make me a lot of money. But at the time, I just didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. So let's talk about the biggest advantage. Here it comes. Time. When you catch a pre-foreclosure in the action zone, the first 3 months, when they sincerely want to do a deal with you and they just want to put it to bed, and that's most people I do in pre-foreclosure, you can usually give them some money with it. You give them a ton of dignity, and you give them time to get out of the property. The force of a bank seizing an asset and having the sheriff come and kick him out of the house is horrifying, especially people who have family, who have children. I get it. Like, people have tough times. Like, we need to help each other out as human beings. And what better way as a wholesaler to do this? And when you get them and they want to take action, go, Rick, I just want to be done with it. If you could just give me like $3,000 or $5,000, sometimes you give them 20 or 30,000 because the numbers really make sense. And I believe taking care of everybody with a win-win-win situation. And if you're going to be one of those wholesalers that goes, man, I can make 150 grand because they'll take $3 grand, you're not doing it the right way, because it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. So we want to help people out. If they catch them in the action zone, they have a million options. And that's where we explain our services. If you decide to enter an agreement with now, I can probably get you X amount of money up front. I can probably get you an additional 2 to 3 months to stay there. And then we'll save your credit. You'll get this foreclosure behind you. And then you dictate when you leave. You see, when you give them that kind of language, they're like, holy moly, I have options. And so that's the advantage to your sellers and pre-foreclosures. Now, let's talk about the advantage to the wholesaler. Time. Oh my God, when you catch them in the action zone, when you guys have properties under contract and you only have 7 or 14 days to sell it, it's stressful. It sucks. There's no other word for it. An agreement with you and they need 3 months to move out. You got 3 months to find a cash buyer. How hard can it be, guys? Unless you're way overpaying for the property, this is actually really easy. And I can't tell you what a luxury it is as a new wholesaler to have this, because most of you guys' problem is you don't have cash buyers and you don't know how to do it. And trying to get a cash buyer in 2 weeks or 30 days it just seems like an overwhelming task. If you do pre-foreclosures and you catch them in the action zone, 3 months or less, you have a lot of time. Now, don't take advantage of it. I've seen wholesalers take 6 months to a year. That's not fair. Remember, you're there to create a win-win for everyone. It's not Rick wins and everybody else loses. It's, hey, they get out of foreclosure, they get some money. I give them a little bit of time. I get some more time because I'm not experienced and I have more leniency with bringing cash buyers in there. And then the cash buyer gets a good deal because he or she's going to be patient too, and they're getting a wonderful deal. That's what we call a win-win-win. That's how I operate. I can't tell you, man, in my local market and so many, the national markets, I talk to so many, unfortunately, I'd like to tell you that's the truth, but the reality of what's going on in wholesaling with a lot of the teachings going out there, we are trying to ignore the human factor. And if you want to be a robot and a businessman, please stay out of wholesaling, because it's just not going to work for you. It's not a mechanical number. I had someone tell me that I'm going to do all 50 states. I'm like, go for it. I've never seen anybody do it before. So that's everything with like pre-foreclosures. Please understand, if you have a question today, let's talk about it. If you have any questions with wholesaling, let's talk about it, guys. Like, we have a full house today. I know I didn't do anything special today. So say you get a pre-foreclosure and you don't know how to sell it and it seems overwhelming, or say you just get a regular deal outside of it. Guys, if you want a JV with me and Zach, we'll do it, because yesterday, if you didn't get a check, go back and check out that live stream. I talk about JVs and we talked about the problems with them, and nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to ride it under the bus. And so many people are being taken advantage of in JVs. I've been there. I've been a victim of it more times than I care to speak about. And I know a lot of you would do it. So the number one thing you have to understand with JV is it is business. And number two, trust is a major factor. So there's 2 types of trust. There's the paper contractual trust, which says, if you don't do what you say, I'm going to take you to court. The reality of people suing and stuff, when people say, I'm going to sue you, I kind of laugh it off, because unless you've been through a lot of lawsuits, and I've been through the war room, and most experienced wholesalers have, it is a lot of work to sue someone. Like, it's an obligation. And remember, the burden's on you when you sue someone. Like, they just have to put up their defense. So when people say they're going to sue, like, I know that it's the quiet, silent ones that scare me. And those are the ones that whenever I've seen happen, it's crazy. It is a lot of emotional roller coaster. It's expensive to do a lawsuit, and it's ridiculous. So the best way, paperwork always, when you do a JV, you have to do the paperwork. If you take someone's word for it, you're going to be taken advantage of. So the other one is the trust factor. Has this person credibly given me enough information and enough of a feeling that I'm going to trust them? And unfortunately, going by feelings alone is dangerous. So me and Zach here at Flip with Rick, you guys know I've been in the business 20 years. My reputation means a lot to me. My name, because I put my name out there, and you guys know how I brought my son up to do this business. So And it was his choice. I didn't drag him in the wholesaling. Honestly, I was actually against him doing it when he was young because I just, sometimes this is a hard business. And when he wanted to get it, and it was great. So we've grown this. We've spent, like a lot of people, we spent 3 years doing this. And so what we try to do is establish your trust. We're doing this a completely different way. Listen, this is our opinion. And you guys will validate if it's correct or not. Why not teach everyone how to do the basics of wholesaling? And now let's find a way where we can work together. And I'm not going to take that quick money. I'm going to teach you and coach you the basics of wholesaling. I think it's so simple. And the way information shared today, it's all out there publicly. So many gurus, so many coaches, mentors say, well, I teach it for free anyways. To a point they do, but they always leave out critical information. They give you really simple models. And honestly, there's not much you can do it. And they say, listen, if you really want to be successful, you've got to join this program. And then it just never stops. I got presented a program the other day. Unfortunately, I saw the content and I can't unsee it. It was $25,000 to be proficient at wholesaling. Guys. So our goal here is to just get you up and running with wholesaling. If you want to learn how to do this and you want to cut to the chase, go to freewholesaling.com. I don't hold anything back. What's my purpose? Why do I do it? Every guru asks me, because I'm friends with a lot of them. I don't it's not personal with me. I'm just going to take to the market what they want. And you guys, we're tired of the BS with the gurus. So, hey, what's your end game? Here's my end game. I want to do 1,000 deals all over the country. I want to be the biggest wholesaler out there. How do I do it? I'm going to take 3 years and I'm going to build up credibility. And I'm going to show them the trust factor and why everybody out there chases this short-term money. I'm just going to go in and give it all away for free. You can't do that. You're going to go broke. No. I have a wholesaling business. I do just fine. Am I the richest wholesaler? Absolutely not. I never claim to be. I'm the happiest wholesaler because I have freedom. And it's not about who has the most money. It's who has the best quality of life. And if wholesaling allows you to do that, we can all agree that wholesaling is good for everybody. How you want to do it? If you think paying someone 5 or 10 grand is going to get you a shortcut to success, try it out. I'm just telling you, you're going to come back to me and Zach anyways, because we don't hold back. Imagine if you could see someone's course before you signed up, or maybe you could try it out for 90 days before you did it. There would be a 90% failure ratio because there is this crazy barrier. But I'm going to get off that. So if you guys want to work with us, please go back and watch the live stream from yesterday. We go into detail on how to do it, but basically you can go over to sellmypaper.com. I got it across the bottom here. You click on your state. We have partnered with premier partners all over the country. And these are people I've done business with, Zach's done business with, people that have high reputations, and we partner up with them and work together. You get 50% of the deal. And you're like, well, give up half. Guys, I want you to flip your own deals. That's my goal. But if you're just starting out and you want to get a good deal, and then guys, we're only looking at wholesale deals. And I'm going to tell you the truth, it's not good. And then you'll get feedback on it. But if it's a great deal, we can partner up with our local partners because all real estate's local. Nobody can do this nationally. It's too localized. And you get 50%. And here's the best part is I never ask you for a dime. I'm not going to ask you for a couple grand to submit your deal. Why? That would go against everything I do. I get it. Some people are trying to protect their time, and I'm okay with it. And it's their right, but you have options now. And the worst thing is you're going to learn a lesson. You're going to learn how to write contracts. And if your deal's close, we'll work with you. We'll get on a 3-way call, get the seller to the right price, and get it done. And everybody wins. And here's the best part is we oversee to make sure my staff, my people make sure that you are always taken care of. And when we have problems with people, we switch them out. We're not perfect. And it's going to be a fun journey. But in this last week, I am blown away by how many deals gone. And I am truly humbled. I can't tell you how excited I am about this. So if you guys want to learn more, go there. And we're adding markets on a daily basis. So just be patient with us because we are not letting. So by the way, every one of our premier partners has to prove it with data, with facts. And we go over their title companies. and they sign agreements with us, and they'll sign an agreement with you, and we all work together. And then if you do deals with us, how do you want access to me and Zach? That's how you can get very personal access to us. And we feel that's the best way to do it. Could I sell $5,000 courses? Dude, all day long. I bypass millions and millions of dollars. Why? I'm in the long game, guys. You guys want to play the short game, knock yourself out. Keep taking the coaching dollars because they're shrinking and shrinking and shrinking every year because the world has changed and we're in a society where you choose who you want to do business with. So this hidden like wall, it's over. I'm sorry, like it'll always be there, but like guys, it's up to you which route you want to go with it. So guys, check us out on there. So before we get in the lives here, I said, listen, I would, I debated whether I want to share this publicly. I believe everybody should walk the talk before they go out on a limb and go out in front of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people and say it. So today is one of my special anniversaries. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, but a lot of people ask, hey, Rick, what's that tattoo on you? Tattoos from 3 years ago. I made a commitment to myself and I used my wholesaling journey and I just decided to make a major shift in my life. I never even announced it till today. It's not a big deal, but I just decided to get rid of all bad habits. So I decided alcohol wasn't part of my life anymore. And I'm hardcore, man. Like when I do it, I put it on my bicep and go, listen, I'm never going back to that. And I just decided it wasn't serving me anymore. So I waited 3 years to even kind of tell people. So if you have that challenge in your life, I commend you. I promise you, just fight the battle every day. And I love it. And without making this commitment, I don't know if I'd be doing this with you guys. Like I wake up every morning. I just love life. I love everything to do. I love my wife. I love my kids. You guys know how much I love Zach. And that was the final change I need to do it. And the reason I'm telling you is it's my journey. It's nobody else's. And I still walk it every day, but I used the disciplines I learned in wholesaling to apply this change in my life. And I never thought I was capable of it, but it's awesome. So that's it. And I keep my tattoo very discreet on my arm. And I'm not like I love tattoos, by the way. I think it's like, I can see how they get addictive, but I put it indiscriminately inside. I think I've had 2 or 3 people ask me over the last few years, and I promised one day I would share it with them. So I love it. If you want to make a change in your life, what I'm teaching you is the skills you learn with wholesaling, especially with us, you can apply it for anything. Like you want to make a change, you want to get healthy, you want to lose weight, you want to quit this habit, quit that one, go for it. I'm not an expert, guys. I'm an expert on wholesaling, but today marks 3 years. And if I didn't make that decision, I wouldn't be here. So that's it. So let's get on. Let's jump on. Let's do some questions. I'm going to be honest with you. The feed is so big today. I have a hard time keeping up because guys, in this studio, it's me. If I could show you around, occasionally I have a pet or two hanging around. I bring in the cat or the dog, but it's just me, man. Like, so, if I can't answer them all, I appreciate you guys. So guys, if you just learned one, like wholesaling has taught me skill sets that I never thought I would have the discipline to do. And then you tackle one journey, and it just constantly builds. And it's been amazing. I always got into wholesaling for freedom so I could spend more time with my family. And as I got the freedom, as I got the money, I found like, oh, I can do this. I can do that. I don't have to feel bad every day, or I can really get physically fit. I can really be there. And as I get older, because I'm getting older, I don't know if you know that, is I want to be in this game for a long time and I want to have a good time doing it. And I always want to be there for my kids, just like you do. So guys, if you have something you want to make a change, if I can do it, you guys, you're more equipped than I am because I'm giving you the skill set to do this stuff. So I love you guys. I appreciate it. I just want to get that out of the way. So people are like, what's the tattoo about it? It's a commitment I made to myself and my family. And 3 years is, okay, we're there. So that's it. So I see all the questions. I'm just going to jump into lives and let's see here. So guys, you know how to do the JV, sellmypaper.com, and we're working on it every day. We've been working on it for quite a bit of time. And the first week, unbelievable, like the amount of stuff we've done with it. And I thank you guys a lot. And It's not a requirement. I'll still teach you for free. I'll show you how to do it. So, okay, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Stefan, you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Yeah, my name is Steven. How you doing?
I'm sorry about that. Dude, I butcher names. Like I don't even hide it. Like
It's
Zach
totally
has this photographic memory. My son, it's just like, oh my God. And by the way, guys, the StreamYard is full. Like there's a limitation and I only have so much time. So like, I promise you, if you don't get on today, jump on with me Monday because I'm pretty wide open on Monday. Like, and I do that. And honestly, I'll just keep doing it till I can meet with everybody I can do. So what's going on?
well. Hey, how you doing, Rick? I'm
I'm
just here
doing
to say,
fantastic, man. I am alive today. I am like, I'm just, I just get a little bit better each day, just like I want everybody else on the stream to get.
that's great. I just wanted to first say that I'm so thankful for what you guys do, and everything you do. Like, it doesn't go like unlooked. Like, you guys have helped a lot of people, and I'm just really thankful for everything that you put out and help me with. And yeah, I just wanted to say that at first. I'm
No,
just so
dude, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate it. I am humbled even to be in this position because I went through like a lot of struggles. Like, dude, like I felt this industry was just getting so bashed and the guru thing was so out of control. I go, well, don't people want like the truth and authenticity in what we do?
right.
And the problem is, like, guys, here's the blueprint. People get successful at wholesaling and then they go, oh my God, I can just teach it. And they have good intentions when they start. But then someone goes, I saw a post yesterday. Not going to use any names. I'm always neutral about this.
Hmm.
And it's their fight, not mine. Someone posting like teaching other gurus how to do specifically like wholesaling business.
Wow.
And it's like, he goes, I'm going to teach you to make $1 million this year. Guys, that's your money they're taking. And like, the problem is the value is not being exchanged. They're just, it's like, huh, 5 grand, 5 grand, 5 grand, 5 grand, 5 grand, 5 grand. Dude, you guys are getting flipped so bad. And so many times I remember like 12 years ago, I sat down in an organic mastermind. And that's a mastermind where you sit down where everybody contributes and gives it all. And said, what if we just taught people this for free? And maybe we did some business with everybody in there. And they're like, oh, dude, like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. I'm like, and it's always been sitting in the back of my mind. So like when I was teaching Zach the business, and guys, Zach went through the fight 5 years. He did acquisitions. Zach got more exposure in 5 years than most of you guys are going to get in 50 years. It's just the truth because I was well on my way.
Right.
And I kept bringing it up, and I would get kicked out of every group I go because that's a terrible idea. I go, why don't we want to help? Because most of the people aren't going to do anything. We're just going to like take their money. I'm just like, what? And that's the little dirty secret in gurus. Like most of the people getting on stage. Let me ask you, have you ever been to an event, a pep rally? You know what I'm talking about? You can't ask any questions. You're not
Right.
allowed to. And if you ask a challenging question, I got kicked out of a group in Boston, okay? Because I said, you just said you made 5 million in profit. I go, define profit. I was immediately escorted out of the room.
Wow.
I define profit as cash in the bank account less expenses.
Mm.
Most gurus define profit as once you put it under contract. And that's what just breaks my heart. It's a lie. It's fabricated. Everything's on gross numbers. Do you know most gurus, they spend a ton of marketing. Do you know most of those guys you call on the phone, they get between 10 and 25% of whatever you pay them.
Mm.
That's why they're begging for you guys so much. So I just want to change. And I do give kudos to the gurus that don't have sales consultants. It's ridiculous. So wholesaling is not specialized. It's a very basic skill set, in my opinion. So and anyone can take action of it and make it happen within 90 days, in my opinion. 30 days if you get a little bit lucky and you take a lot of action. But if you don't take action, none of it's going to work. Don't worry about it. So let's focus on you, man. What can I help you out with?
Right. Thanks for that. But yeah, I just have a couple questions, not too big. I started really learning the business about 5 months ago, and I've really started with like, I was really like taught the on market way, but I see that you guys really specialize on off market and stuff. But
Hmm.
I've been mainly doing on market because it's really like I don't really have too much of a budget, so it's like it helps me like I just make a call and see what goes on. And yeah, I
Hmm.
just wanted your opinion because like would you recommend me to like start doing off market deals because you know
Okay. So this is a so what you're asking me is a very popular question. Like it's
mm,
on everyone's mind. And so I'm just going to give you, so guys, when I give you answers, and the really cool thing is with like me and Zach, you kind of get like two different, not two different versions. You get the same philosophy, but sometimes we have different ways of attacking it.
yeah.
Zach, my son can take anything on market or off market. He's
Mm,
just like he loves it. So I'm an off market guy.
yeah.
I'm biased because I know the struggle. A lot of people, oh, Rick, you started back in 2003. It's a different world. I go, yeah, but there was no roadmap. It was like navigating through the sea and wondering if the earth was flat or round. So here's the challenge with it, and I'll sum it up, make it as simple as possible so you guys can learn from it. On market is much easier up front. It just like, okay, the data's there. I know they're selling. I have a phone number. I have a person I can contact, and I can go through numbers, and it's just a numbers game, right? That's how most people think with it. And sometimes it works out really well. Sometimes it works better in other markets, but there's so many variables that go in with it. It's like, number one, do you like talking to people? Number two, are you mass calling with like a multiple dialer? Number three, are you talking to agents? Are you talking to the rest of the FISBOs? And like, do you have the ability to talk to these people? And what happens is you get through it, and after a few months, you're like, well, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. It's like, this is like, I can't get them to get a deal with me. Like they're all squeezing me, trying to get me close to like just below retail. And it's like, it's annoying. And
Mm,
for that part, I hate that part of it because
right.
my fear is you burn out doing it. In the
Okay.
Now flip over on the other side, off market, you have the opposite problem. It's a nightmare to get the data. Who do you trust to get the data? Now you got people offering like free data and this and that. Guys, I'm telling you, dude, I took a lot of free data in my life. Don't worry about the cost of data because honestly, I actually prefer to pay for it because I feel like they've they've taken a more professional approach with it. Because once you get the data, if it's free, and say you had to skip trace that entire list, and say the list sucked, you just smoked through a ton of money. So that
Mm,
free data cost you a fortune. And that's my problem with free data. So when I was not growing up, but well, yeah, growing up, when I was doing wholesaling is I had a lot of people, oh, there was like list services and they were just middlemen. And they're like, I'll get you this list. I'll get you, because we didn't have all these filters and all these great tools you guys have today. And I just gave up because I was getting old information. And I wasn't getting anywhere. I went back. I tried a lot of companies and boy, like the problem is I didn't get deals. I spent a lot of money and I left the things that work. Guys, I used ListSource, I think 11 years. Why? Because it was expensive, but it was reliable. And when you have a reliable source, and by the way, when I started using listrei.com, which is our prop stream, I double tested it, the list source for 1 year before I trusted it. Okay.
mm,
So if you're going to switch to a free service, please make sure you're at least matching apples to apples. Because the worst thing you can do is take a free list and say you cold call 5,000 people and you get nowhere. Was that list free? It's a nightmare. So back to off market. I got off, like my ADHD kicked in. I apologize. So when you get off market, it's harder up front. But when you do make that connection with the seller, it's easier. You can get deals 60, 70 cents on the dollar. Whereas when you're dealing with on-market deal, they're all shooting for 85 and higher on average.
right.
And that's the challenge you want to do it because they just don't care. When you get an off-market property, you don't have competition. You have limited competition because it's private data.
Yeah.
And number two, they're like, listen, can you just help me solve this problem? And if you do what you say, you can walk away with it. Now, which type of personality you want to do? In the perfect world, you can kind of do both. So the best way is you could still attack your own market, take the data you've had, your failures and let that fuel you for going, okay, I know this doesn't work, or these types of properties work, or this area doesn't work. So I'm going to start filtering the type of calls I make, because you threw out a net and you got big holes in it. And that's the problem when you do public data. And you got to just, so a lot of my failures in wholesaling, they're now my victories because I learned a valuable lesson. That's how we learn, guys. Like, it's how we learned in school is BS, because you don't like taking a test over and over till you get it right. When you do it wrong in wholesaling, you fail, you can lose money, but man, do you get a lesson. You get a lesson, go, I ain't doing that again. And I just, over and over, my entire career has been that exact mantra. And I've had a couple times where I almost wiped myself out. So remember, I went from a smoking market to the coldest market we've ever seen in history. I was caught in the middle of that crossfire. So I'm just like, oh my God, what do I do? And that was the challenge. So I would do like a blend. Here's your focus, the off-market list. Don't waste time. So either get a list provider you trust. We only, we use PropStream and we use Batch. We're the only ones that offer both because we want to give you guys options. I'm not going to say I prefer one over the other because I'll get in trouble because I use both. So whichever you want to do, it's up to you. The other way is just go get your government list. They are free. You're typically going to have to skip trace them anyways. But if you go chase code violations, tax delinquencies and stuff like that, I guarantee you'll find somebody that wants to do a deal with you there. Right. You're going to have to go through the pain of skip tracing them and doing all that stuff. But if you do a little bit of combo, and then what I would do is take the on market and start using your data and figure out what is 100% not working. Like this city, this is brutal. These, at least I've had 5 or 6 people I can talk to. And that's how you learn and go forward. Some people like to strictly do off market. I'm an off market guy because I get the deepest discounts. And when I was younger doing this, I could do one deal and make 30, 40 grand. And this other guy would have to do 8 deals to do the same amount I did. And he killed himself and his expenses went through the roof. So I had a high profitability when I did it. So you got to find the balance on what fits best for you. I know it's kind of a long answer.
Yeah.
But like, take the data that's frustrating the crap out of you and learn from it.
Right.
Guys, the only way you learn from data is you have to use it, and then you either get a deal or you get a lesson. Or sometimes you get both. And that's it. But if you keep beating on the same dead lists that aren't working, especially on market, there's just too much traffic there. They're the wrong type of sellers. And yes, every now and then a blind squirrel can get a nut, but like, I don't want to be a blind squirrel chasing that nut. It's just not a fun journey. So I would go after the government. My code violations and probates are my hands down. Like, I just love them. Like, I've always used them. Even today, like I don't never have to do another wholesale deal again. I still love them. And that's what we do in our local markets because they're very, very effective. Think about it. Code enforcement, code violations. They have a problem with the property. Wherever there's smoke, there's usually fire. The problem with online things is you just can't find out what is like. I got a number, but there's no smoke. And so you're trying to put out fires where there's no smoke. And so like I'm not a firefighter, but I'm just telling you, man, like, I'm not going to sit here and drag my hose all over town and waste all my energy doing it. But it's up to you, man. You got to make a decision, and you can do a combo of both. But here's what's going to happen. The minute you get a sniff of an off market and you get a deal, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to do this on market thing. Here's the reality, guys. The on market thing, it works. Some people use the agent relationship type of deal, and that's more of an advanced play. Like, when you deal with real estate agents, it adds another level of complexity. As a newbie, I highly stay away from it. Realtors want to talk to realtors. Realtors hate talking to me. That's why I have other realtors talk to them, but I got to pay them for it. And there's got to be a lot of meat on the bone to make it work. So the best realtors I do are the ones just before they go into the market. I go, call me before you put a piece of crap house on the property. I'll make you an offer and you'll get paid on both sides. And that's what we do.
Right.
So just mix it up. Like, mix it up. Go after the government list. Most gurus won't tell you about it because it's counterproductive to their course. So.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. After that. Yeah. I'm probably just going to do a little bit of both at times and like just see what I can learn. I have one more question too. I don't want to take up too much time, but
okay.
There's this one listing that I'm looking at, and it's about 100K, and I put in an offer for 60,000. How did I mean, I don't want to say too much, but does that sound like a decent deal, or like should I go lower?
Say it again. I missed the numbers on it. I apologize.
Sorry. The offer is so the listing is at 100,000. They started lowering the price too, so I think the seller might be motivated. So yeah, I spoke to the person and I was able to like get the agent to like, you know, get the offer at 60, and she actually just sent me the DocuSign and everything. And I was just making sure that the only problem about this property is that it's on a highway street. I don't know if that like affects.
Yeah, it's going to affect the value. Like,
It
so
is.
I would find out how long it's been on the market.
Right.
You guys, you got to use real estate agents to get intel, and you're going to have to like have a conversation with them. It's hard because they want to talk to other realtors, but you have to find out what the correct ARV for that one is to do a correct offer, because
Okay.
so many people get like misguided, go, oh, it was on the market at 150 and now it's at 100. So, and me getting at 60, it's a deal. You're making an assumption because you got to find out, because here's the one beauty about like when people put their properties on the market, meaning public, like MLS, stuff like that, the market speaks. And when nobody wants that property, you've got to like step back and go, okay. Sometimes you have to like put a cover over their offer price, and then you go, okay, I'm going to go into listaria.com. I'm going to like see what they say. I'm going to look at Truly. I'm going to look at Zillow, and I'm going to find the most conservative values. And that's how I'm going to make them an offer. So when you guys make an offer, and here's the problem with the market, you make an offer based on what the realtor listed for. They're clueless. And most realtors overlist a property by 10 to 15% as a negotiating tactic. So as wholesalers, we cannot play in that arena, not even slightly. So just sometimes you got to put a blindfold on what they put on an offer. And the longer the days on market, how long has it been on the market?
It's been on the market for, I think this one was like 100 days. So yeah, and they just
dude, like you got a lot of motivation there. So I always like try to like work. So what I would probably do is put it under contract. You're gonna have to look at the ARV. I want you to do that on your own. I don't do comps. And then once you have it under contract, get the longest inspection period you can, and then have an authentic conversation with the realtor. Because once you have it under contract, then you can ask hard questions like, what's the deal with this property? Why has it been on the market so long? Have you had other offers that fall through? Like, just be honest with me, because I don't want to. And here's how I talk to I don't want to waste your time. I value your time. What am I missing on this property? And just try to talk to them. And then you put out your kind of feelers and make sure you got a signable contract, and that's all you can do. And these types of properties, you wind up double closing because you're kind of stuck, like the way they do it. And that's the challenges you have to deal with these realtors.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I usually try to double down, like try to get the realtor both sides of the commission so they'll cooperate with me. But there's so many factors other than price you have to deal with realtors. And guys, I'm not going to teach you a course on it because in my opinion, it's like an advanced strategy and it's a pain in the butt. Like I tell you, if I'm going to deal with real estate agents, I'm going to go get my own real estate agents, which I have plenty of them. And I'm going to have them do that dirty work for me. And I'm going to pay them a night. You're going to pay them anyway. So you might as well have them doing the work. Us, we have a huge, it's like they speak Spanish, I speak English. It's a very hard communication barrier because realtors are up here, we're down here. That's how we're viewed. And then the other way is when we look at realtors, we do the opposite. And it's like the battle. It's like, what's the feud they call? What's that famous feud in the West they call between the families? I forget the names of them. Like they've been battling for like 100 years, the family. And the great grandkids are still like fighting with each other over. So you got to just like, but look, 60 is a significant number. So but the question is the ARV, is that correct? Because if the ARV is 70, you're getting at 60. But remember, when the numbers get smaller, it gets weirder because it's a math equation. So $10,000 off, that could be a 25% discount. But when the numbers get smaller, it's weirder. When the numbers get bigger, it's more of a discrepancy. So find out what the ARV on is. There it is. Hatfield McCoy's. That's what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
I was like lost it. It's like and guys, it's never going away. Like this battle with realtors. So the last thing I want to do is take a brand new wholesaler and teach you how to go chase stuff down on the MLS and have brutal conversations with licensed agents. It's difficult, it's painful, and most of you aren't equipped for it. It's just the truth. I'd rather you just go and do what you're doing, just cold calling. You can do some on market. FSBOs are the natural training ground if you want to go that route. So all
right. Yeah, I got
you.
It,
man.
Man, I appreciate I think I'm good, but I'll be back. You'll see me more often. If I got
It's
anything.
Steven, right?
Yeah, Steven.
Okay.
Yeah,
So guys, if I butcher your name, it's, we all have deficiencies. Like I'm not the best with names. So like,
yeah.
so everywhere I go, just a little, my ADHD kicking in. Like when I customers they go, Mr. Ginn, like, do you need this? I go, it's Ginn. And they're just like, and then they'll go, well, Mr. Ginn, do you want, I go, listen, say it one more time. I'm hanging up. Like, I know you're not listening to me. And so there's something about, you ever notice that? Like when someone calls you, say they do call you Stefan, and then you said, hey, it's Steven. I love that because people pay attention to their name. Like a little experiment, I can snap anybody's name on this live, and I guarantee I'm looking at the videos, their heads will snap around when I do it. It's like if I go Devin, Esmeralda, Nick, Kyra, Sam, like everybody, oh God, here I come. It's a natural reaction. So this is a skill you guys got to understand with your sellers. When you use their name, you can find out if they're paying attention and they're engaged with you. So I appreciate you. And guys, straighten me out when I get the name wrong. And if your name's like tough, I'll just ask you, how do I pronounce your name? Because
All right.
I have a pet peeve. I hate when people mispronounce my last name.
Yeah.
It's funny, like my wife, because you get so mad. I go, it's not that the name pronounce it. It's like they're not. I just know they're not listening to me. And the number one skill set you can learn as a wholesaler is you got to learn to be really effective listeners, so you can strategize on how you're going to help them out with your offer. So you have a blessed day, man. I appreciate you, Stephen. Thank you.
You too, man. Have a great one.
Okay,
Great.
man. I'll see you
All right,
later. Okay. You guys have any other issues like when your name it's not that you mispronounce the name, but when you correct them and go, listen, here's my correct name. I appreciate it if you call me that. And they still butcher you. It's like, unless you have like 19 syllables, it really gets on me. Like it wears on me. It's like, I get it. Like it's not spelled traditionally. So it's not like a gin drink. I always say, good look, it's a hard G. So, it's funny. Okay. Let's see. Oh, my screen is, how do I scroll down? Okay. Got it. Let's see here. Kyle, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Good to talk to you. I'm good. So I talked to Zach like a month ago. I've been like wholesaling for like 5 months now. The first few months I didn't realize obviously liens, calling like a bunch of liens from like PropStream is kind of expensive. You just got to go through so many. So I took his advice. I did more like virtual driving for dollars, and it worked. But it was actually a land deal. But basically I told this so how it went down was I just called. I was like, hey, are you the owner of a whatever street? And then she was like, yeah. And then I was like, would you be interested in selling? She was like, yeah, I am. And then I was like, what would you want for the property? And honestly, I was going to say like 37,000. It's in Bakersfield. And she was like 30,000. And then the cheapest one that was selling like on the market, that's in the same area. It's this one is 12,000 square feet. There's one that's 10,000 square feet selling for like 80,000. So I was like, I think that's a really good price. And honestly, it was really weird because she was like, oh, I'm a broker. And I was like, you're probably lying. I checked. And she actually is. So I was like confused. She listed it for 80,000 like 2 years ago. So I don't know. I was confused. I thought she was joking. But yeah, I got it. I sent her the contract and everything. And she just said she needs like, I asked her if she can sign it in like 3 days, and she was like, I need like a week. I was like, can you do it any better? And she was like, no, I need a week. I was like, okay, that's fine. So I gave her a week, and honestly, I'm just waiting now. But I don't know. I was like thinking, is there anything that can go wrong? Like, do you think? I don't know. I'm just super nervous about that.
So, are you in the week transition right now?
Yeah, by Monday midnight, she should have it signed.
Let's talk about this, because this is a common problem in wholesaling. First of all, I'm going to teach you a tool to prevent this ever happening to you again, because that's what you need. Because here's what's going to happen. This is going to happen over and over and over. If you don't do the right things up front, they will abuse you. Okay. The fact you already told me she's a broker, I already kind of know what she's doing. So you have to precondition your sellers. You have to, or they're going to leave you in the friend zone forever. And here's what you do. Go into freewholesaling.com. I teach you this like word for word what to say. You say, listen, Mr. Like when you're dealing with it, and you're doing this virtually or locally?
Virtually, because I'm in the
Okay.
Bay Area.
Got it. So this is a phone conversation. So when you start to get down to the nitty gritty, you have to condition. Now it works much better in person, for full disclosure.
Hmm.
I like a belly to belly because it makes the most amount of money, but I get the virtual thing and I do it too. But when we tell them, we go, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and I want to get you an offer, but like here's what I need to know. If I get you the offer today, and like you got to make a decision, and it's either like, hey, listen, you love working with Kyle, and I provided you a solution, and you're 100% and you want to move forward, and you can make that decision today, or you decide, listen, it's an absolute no. I wish you the best. We remain friends, and either way, I'll still try to give you a suggestion to help sell the house. Are you okay making that yes, no, or decision moving forward? And that's it. And you get them to make a commitment. It's psychological, because I don't want you guys wasting your time, because if not, they're going to option you. And so now what she's doing, I'll tell you exactly what she's doing. She's taking your contract and she's shopping around all the other contracts that failed to see if they'll go higher than yours. And you are like that guy that's sitting in the gym during the big prom, and you're waiting for that girl. Like you're just in love with her, right? You're on pins and needles. Like I know the gut in your stomach, like, damn, sign the damn thing. And you're that same guy sitting in the gym, like she's over there, she's talking to every other guy and gal, and it's like I brought her flowers, I sweet talked her, I took her to dinner, and like I'm at the dance, and she's leaving me at the very end. If she can't find a dancer, she's going to come back to you. That's what you're at. So I'm just trying to tell you this. In the future, I want you to learn so you don't get caught in the friend zone. You have to go, listen, you either got to make a commitment or not. Like, and here's the way is you're using their words against them, because if they go, well, I need to think about it for a week. I go, we had an agreement up front. And most people will try to honor their agreement. There's still some shaky people and you can't do anything about it. But if you do that, you'll do better. You're not forcing them to make a decision, but if they're just kicking your tires, they won't move forward with you too, and you save your time. That way, if she comes back in you 2 months, you can revisit it without burning it. And that's how you guys do it. You've got to precondition every seller, because if not, you guys are going to be stuck in the friend zone, man. Like it's not only is it bad in high school, it's even worse in wholesaling. And that's what I want you guys to understand. So Kyle, moving forward, you understand the next seller, you're going to do this so you don't get stuck in this exact position here, right?
Yeah, I
especially knowing she's a broker. Dude, I'm like, listen, I've been burnt by, like, I'm not, like, if you want to make a decision, I'll put the offer in, but like, if you're not ready to make a decision, I'm not going to make the offer. And that's it. Because here's what they do. They take your offer and they shop it around. And like, you guys are like in shock, like, and here's what happens is it does work. Because when people take you, so did you gave her a physical offer, right?
No, actually how it was I was like, are you interested in selling? She was like, yes. I was like, how much would you want to sell for? She was like, 30,000. I was like, honestly, like when she said that, I was like, what the hell is this? The property I'm thinking of?
Dude,
what? Like, oh yeah,
30,000. Like, how big is this house again?
It's a vacant lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 12,000 square feet.
So now you know how to do it in the future. So the question is, what do I do now? Right? That's your big question. So how many days you into this dance?
It's so 4 days, I think, or 4 days now. So it's on
got
Monday
one or two
night.
options. You got one or two options, and neither one of them is wrong. But either you're going to get a deal or you're going to get a lesson, right? That's everything we say. You're going to get a deal or you're going to get a lesson. And the lesson's going to make your deals better off down the road. So either way is a win. So when we make a choice in life, we either win or we learn. There is no losing. There is no failing. It's like, I don't understand people's mentality when they do that. So one of the two things, you just wait it out and you honor the time. Like that's, unfortunately, you just got to forget about it and go there. And I've been there, dude. And it means you're sitting over in the gym and you made this predicament and you're just going to finish it. Or you can call her and go, listen, kind of thinking about it. If you can't make a decision today, I just got to withdraw. I found another property and I think it's going to work actually a little bit better. Is it risky? Yes. But you are going to enact her FOMO, her fear of missing out, because she's using your contract to use FOMO on other buyers as well. Hey, listen, I got an offer for this. If you can beat it, I'll sign with you right now. 100% leveraging you. So you can decide to do that shotgun approach too. The worst one is she just ghosts you and like it goes away forever, which isn't like the end of the world. So you're going to have to make that choice. It's a personal choice. And I'm here to tell you, Kyle, neither one of them is wrong. Neither one of them is wrong. Like, what can you handle and stomach? Because like it's a difficult conversation, but it's like you put yourself in it and now you know going forward. So either wait it out or do that fear of missing out. And on a Friday, if you're on like a Friday evening, it's perfect because people have to think about it all weekend. They're like, so sometimes you're like, well, and you wanted to make a decision. Well, a bird in hand's better than chasing a bird for a few thousand more dollars. And honestly, if she comes, so did you put an expiration on your contract?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I asked her, I was like, you know, how long do you need? And then she was like, I need to read it over with some people. It's going to take me like a week. That's what she said.
And what kind of contract did you give her?
It was, so I'm just friends with, like I got into wholesaling, because of like another, he's like older. I'm 18. He's like 24 and he kind of taught me, but he gave me his contract and he said, it's like really good. Like you can withdraw to like the last day and I don't know, it has all this stuff, but I gave it to her and wait, what was the question?
My
bad.
I just asked it like when was there an expiration on it?
Oh yeah, it was just, yeah, I put like expiration date January 30th because she said I need a week. I was like, okay, yeah, January 30th midnight.
Guys, like they don't need a week to look it over, especially on like a raw piece of land. That's a joke. They're just they're trying to get a better option than you. So you never want to be a plan B for someone. Because she's either going to come back and say, hey, I got a better offer, and if you want to come up, and like then she's brokering you, and like you don't want to be the highest bidder. It's like unless. So the other thing you can do while she's doing that, because it's raw land, go out and find a buyer and see what they'll pay for it, and then just reverse engineer it on it. And it's like, so here's a few tricks. If you guys have to release contracts, boy, I'm sharing a lot of stuff here. So I'm going to give you a couple tricks. So if people like play you can kind of do the same. So one trick is you can send a contract and have them sign and you don't sign. You're optioning them at that point. Once they sign that, now you can decide if you want to sign it or not. Now, listen, I don't want to play games with people, but if you're going to play games with me, I'm going to sharpen that tool and I'm going to play the same game back with you. Realtors do this to me all the time. So you can send out a contract and get their signature. And if you don't sign it, you don't. Now, sometimes that works against you because they don't think you're serious. So you got to know, you got to read the room and understand your seller. The other one is every contract, just put a 1-day expiration on it and go, oh, I'm sorry. I put that. It must be standard in the form. That way you protect yourself against idiots. Yeah. He goes, well, it only says a day. I'm like, well, if you come back to me, I'll do the deal. And then you can decide if you want to do it when they come back to you. Now, a lot of times when they come back to me, they play that game, they're taking a discount because you got no other buyers. So now you've gone out to the market and proven to me you can't find a better offer than mine. I thought about it. I need a little bit more of a discount to make this work. So are these games? Yes, but this is the game of business and real estate. Whenever you deal with like realtors and brokers, I do this, like you have to play this game. I don't, if someone gives you a great deal, honor your word and get it done. But like when you get this game, I'm giving you tools in your war chest to do this stuff. So if someone says I need a week, I always put like a day in there and I just go, well, that unfortunately it's just like a default. Don't worry about it. You need a week. I'm going to tell, like, I'm going to put a day on the paperwork. I'm sorry. And call me back in a week. And if you're going to do what you do, I'll honor the agreement. Unless something changes, right? See, when you get played, you got to play back. And it's just ridiculous. That's why I like dealing with off-market property. Like the brokers are always difficult. I'm sorry. They are trained and they're a little bit more skilled. So they always want to sell and it's like a funnel and they loop you down to it. So I gave a lot of information there. Make a decision. If you want to wait it out or you want to call her, do the preconditioning in the future. And then if you have to engage this player's game with like a broker or an agent, send the contract. Don't sign your side because 9 times out of 10, they'll sign it, assuming you're going to sign it back. You're not obligated till you sign it. But guys, don't do this on really good deals. Like this is for people that want to play intermediary and like play games with their properties. Play it back. So if you're going to go to poker and someone's going to bluff you, you occasionally have to bluff them back. Use these tools. I tell you, these little skills right here, I promise you guys, like it's going to change how you do business with people like that. I always honor people when they give me good deals and they make it easy. I make everything so simple. But if you want to play games all the way up the end with like an agent and stuff like that, they do this stuff to us all the time. I just sent an offer out the other day. Same type of deal. I signed it, sent it over, thought we had a done deal. And the agent's like, well, if you can come up another $6,000, we got another offer. I'm like, yeah, but I already signed it. You said yes. He's like, but my seller didn't sign it. And this other offer came in. It's extremely unethical, but it happens all the time. So if they play it back. Make sense?
Yeah, I understand. I didn't see it that way.
Okay.
I'll definitely have to rewatch this.
Yeah, no, it's like a guy listen, I've been to the tool shed. I've had every experience that can humanly possibly happen on a wholesale transaction. There's nothing you can throw to me that really shocks me anymore. So like, I didn't even know I acquired this much skill set. And I truly saw the value when I spent that 5 years working with my son. Honestly, I never had more fun doing wholesaling than when I did it with my son, because it was just fun, because he was having such a good time and he was learning, and it re-inspired me. I'm like, how can we teach people more efficiently, more effectively, and get rid of this 95% failure rate? And it's sharing stuff just like this. Guys, most of you would have to go to an advanced mastermind, pay 30 grand plus just to get tips like this. I'm telling you, all the time. And there's a reason I don't go to this stuff anymore, because there are people that are smarter and better at me. But I always look at it from, if I got starting wholesaling today, how would I teach it? And so many people lost their way when they did it. Like, oh, now I'm powerful. So many times when I got really advanced in wholesaling, I had a hard time teaching it because I talked over everybody's head. And now I look at all the other gurus. I'm like, most of you guys are talking at such a ridiculous advanced level. Nobody can comprehend what you're even saying anymore. How do I find a motivated seller? How do I wholesale the contract? That's what you guys want to know. And that's what we want to do. So take these tips, rewind it. It's all recorded, and just go have fun with it and make a decision. And just understand, Kyle, either you're going to get a deal or you're going to get a lesson. Either way, it's a win-win for you. Okay.
Yeah. I really appreciate you, man. I appreciate
man.
your help.
Go
Thank
get it,
you.
man. I appreciate you, man. See you.
I'm home today.
Okay. Okay. I had a question here I want to share with you. So somebody had a question about, let's see here. Where was it? It's a good question. And guys, I'm seeing the questions, but one day I get somebody to help me do that. So help me with all the questions here. Okay. Let's see. Where did I put it? Okay. So I have a two-part question from Noon. So he says on here, hey, question number one, if we JV with you and your son, would you be comfortable working with a title company of my choosing? So here's what we do. If you pre-qualified your title company and they're okay with you being a wholesaler and doing the assignment, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. If you don't have one pre-vetted and ready to go, when we assign your local premier partner, they'll have all that stuff ready for you to go. And guess what? You'll have an instant in with that title company. Remember, if the title company will help us facilitate the deal and they understand what you're doing, I'm all for it. But when you guys get your retail title companies, or you let your seller dictate the title company, it's usually a massive problem. And you need to know that going into it. Question number two. These are good questions. If we consider doing a J deal with you and Zach, what part of the closing process you all be willing to provide assistance with? Whatever's needed and possible. But here's the catch. We're not looking for leads. Okay. Leads take a lot of energy. That's what we're teaching you in this process with free wholesaling, Flip with Rick, everything we do here. Leads take energy, they take hustle, and they take some grind. And some of you spend some money and some of you spend your own resources, meaning your time, and you have to get through that part. So if you submit a deal and it's retail, we're not going to look at it. Like, we're just going to tell you this doesn't work. Remember, I'm not charging you thousands of dollars to submit this. I can pretend like it's a fake course, because that's only advantageous to me. But I'm going to be brutally honest with you. And then if you have it under contract, say you have it on contract 150 and go, listen, that deal's not going to sell for more than $130. We're going to tell you right up front. And some of it, if it's too far off, and I'm not going to share the numbers, but you guys are going to learn, You're just going to have to restart over with that lead. If you're close, the advantage of working with us is we'll involve, if you're in Florida, dude, I'm all in. But like if you're in Phoenix or you're in Dallas or you're in like Las Vegas, if you're close, then what we'll do is put you with a very skilled person at my level or higher. And then we'll get involved. And if me and Zach have to get involved, we're all in and we'll do a 3-way call and we'll try to make your deal work. They have to be close, guys. So if you have it under contract 300, it's only worth 200, you're on your own. Like I can't do anything with that. That's a lead that needs to be nurtured and worked correctly. And if you want to learn how to do it, go over to freewholesaling.com. We teach you step by step on how to do that. So hopefully that clears up some of the questions. And let's see here. Alex, you there?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot.
Rick, what's up?
Dude, I tell you, I love when I catch some of you guys off guard. You're like,
No
if you ever
way.
guys watch, I played it once. If you ever, if you get a chance, Google it. There's the kid, he was young. And it was a Florida Marlins game or Miami Marlins, depending on how my team. I'm not a giant baseball guy, but he gets caught on like the big screen monitor and he just like starts dancing. It's got like 5 million views. It's like, and sometimes you go, when you get caught in that camera, like, you know, how like you do like the kiss cam and all that stuff. It's just so funny. It's like, and sometimes you guys are really raw and authentic and I enjoy it because it makes it entertaining and fun. You guys, for the most part, wholesaling's so boring how it's taught. It's like, it's got to be slightly entertaining to a point. Otherwise, dude, I fall asleep. If I sit in a 2-hour seminar, dude, I'm the guy passed out in the back. Dude, I can't handle it. Like your brain can only handle so much, man. What's going on, man? What can I help you out with?
Oh, what's up, Rick? Oh, man,
Good.
you didn't catch me off guard. I'm like all over the place now.
No, I like your energy, man.
Thank
It takes
you.
a lot
Yeah,
of energy to wholesale, guys. If you're like, I'm going to try to start wholesaling and this is what you need to do, dude, like go back to our intro video and watch it about 100 times, then come back to me.
Oh, I love that song. Anyways,
Yeah.
though, I've been watching you guys for a while now. I've been, driving for dollars like every day, doing my cold calls and stuff. I spoke to somebody, I think 2 days ago. I told them I'd call him back yesterday, but I told him I needed to talk with you guys. Because the thing is, so let me see. So basically, he has this property. He lives in Arizona. I'm in Southern California.
Got it.
And he was looking to sell it, but he says that there's a deed of trust on his property, and that it was forged and it wasn't him that signed it. And so he has like an open case, and the law is like investigating it and whatnot. And
Okay.
I'm not sure if that would interfere with me being able to lock up the property.
So understand this, go through your normal qualifying process. And I get deals like this all the time. And guys, I've done so many deals that I've bought properties that people didn't even own. And I've been involved in lawsuits over them. Not that anything I did. It's just like you do enough deals, you will eventually find a fraudster somewhere. And we have brokers, real estate agents all involved. And it's like a long drawn out case. It's kind of funny. And here's the best part is I bought 2 of the properties and just kept them myself. And then I got counterclaim from a title company. Say, listen, you bought a property with fraudulent title. I go, I didn't run the time. So number one, you're not a title company and you're not a lawyer. So present the data to your title company and verify what he's saying if it matches up. Because if his story is legit, he probably just needs some time and go through some sort of legalities. That's not for you to determine. And here's the best part is if it's legitimate and what he's saying is, if you had to wait 5-6 months to get the deal or even a year, would you still do it?
Of course.
So that's it. So like that's, and who else, like now you can lock the property up, maybe get some equity. Maybe you have to renegotiate it and you have an upper hand advantage because nobody wants to buy that property because it's got clouded title. You're not living there. You're not doing anything. So it's a great opportunity. Leave it to a title company and like an attorney. And then now I get it. The guy probably doesn't want to enter an agreement because he's concerned with the title already, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't really get to that part because I was confused. I've never heard of that before.
Listen, it's not your job to do it. Like the guys, I could do entire classes on advanced strategies. My focus is on getting you your first deal and getting you your first 100 grand. If I talk about land contracts and trust and stuff, dude, it's just going to distract you. It's shiny object. You want to talk about like novations? By the way, they're getting killed in the state of Florida because they're not putting up with it anymore. The title companies have had it with it. The disclosures are insane. And I'm not here to rag on it, but it's a shiny object syndrome. If you think you're going to cheat and try something other than wholesaling, good luck. You're just going to be distracted. I've been through this journey. So work with him, qualify him. If he'll enter into an agreement, you're not going to record the agreement. And your condition in your addendum is once you clear this title hurdle, then your contract can go live.
Okay.
So if you can't clear the title, then you can't buy the property, and you're not going to like make it, you're not going to file any affidavits or anything like that. So that's it. Guys, I always have 10 contracts out there sitting on just deals like this. Why? Because nobody wants to touch them. Realtors are scared of them. Like, if I'm patient, I'm going to get a great deal. Because the guy says, if you'll be patient with me, I might be able to sell you this property. Nobody else is interested. And he wants to know when he clears that he can sell it. And, I expect a good discount to do something like that. So that's it. Do it. Like, if he'll sign an agreement, do it. Don't record anything. Don't screw him up, and try to help him out. And then you stay in touch with him like every 30 days. You can send a simple text or an email, and you have first rights on that property. That's it. And worst case scenario, if he doesn't enter that agreement, you could do an option agreement, but I prefer you just do a purchase and sale agreement, because an option agreement, to be effective, you have to record something in public record. So that's not going to be your best route. So a simple, use our contract at freewholesaling.com, and you can easily just make the condition of it. Once you clear this title issue, you have 60 to 90 days to close. And that's it. Go find other people. And when it clears, you can knock it out of the park.
Right. Okay. Because I was planning to call him today. Because when I called him 2 days ago, I told him, well, you know what? I've never dealt with anything like this before, so I'm gonna talk to my partner Zach and Rick to see what they have to say about it.
So bring it to your title company. Though that's where you need the advice in your local market, and take his story, give it to your title company, have them pencil search the title, and what you want to do is verify if he's telling you the truth or it's like a made up fib.
Okay.
And they go, yeah, no, it's legit. And here's why I asked title company, how long do you think before he clears this hurdle? And they'll go, wow, it's probably 6 to 12 months. I'm like, okay. And then ask him, how long do you think it's going to be to clear the hurdle? And he'd be like, oh, I can probably have it done in like a week or two. And that's when you can help him out and educate him.
Yeah, because he says that it's been going on. Like he said that was signed like 8 years ago, and he's never signed it. Someone did it, all that.
Yeah. Guys, it happens a lot more than you think. Like it's so like right now, because of the novation disaster going across the country, and novation's a natural thing where you replace a contract. In my local 5 counties I work with, recording an affidavit's a nightmare now. It has to be like, you have to go through a lot more hoops. You can't just record blanket affidavits anymore because it's out of control. They've had an 80% surge in affidavits in my area. Why? Because gurus are teaching this crazy technique to people that don't have the skill sets, don't understand the paperwork what they're doing. Innovations have a high failure rate, and you have to unwind all this documentation. And this is how people get stuck with clouded titles. So simply go to your title company, tell them the story or summarize it in an email, have them research the title and see if it makes sense, and then go back and then help them. And then it has these questions. You work with your title company. You don't need expensive attorneys to do all this stuff. And the idea is, by you providing solutions and options, you should be rewarded down the road for it. Now, if you have to wait 2 years, then it's fine. It might just be 3 months, but most of these things are usually 6 to 12 months to clear up stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So like, don't fear it. Like, remember, your job is to find motivated sellers and put a deal together. It's not to interpret law, to interpret title. Dude, guys, don't do it. I don't even know how to do it. I understand it, but I don't know how to do it. Because if I did that, then I would own a title company, and that's all I would do.
Okay.
So do that, and then go find other people.
Yeah, because I never really I think I haven't even I want to call him today and then do MCTP with him because I don't even know if we can agree on a good price yet. So
Okay,
before
well,
I
see
even,
that you gotta get through that hurdle first.
yeah, because I mean I know the property's motivated for sure because
Hmm.
it's like it hasn't been rented out for a while. He has a few liens on it, I think, like
Yeah.
garbage liens or something like that. And he doesn't want it anymore. He says he just wants to get rid of it. He doesn't want to
So,
put any
dude,
money into it.
listen, go for no, build in rapport, build in a conversation, and give it a shot because, dude, he's tired of this property. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
like it, and then he's going to need someone that will sit back and be patient with him.
Okay.
Now, like an advanced strategy, if you found out like he'd really give you a cheap price, you could actually technically buy the property and take over the legal case. But that's kind of advanced, and I don't want to do that with you. But
Yeah, I
I've done
know.
options like that before, but it's got to be really cheap to do that because it is there is a risk. But is the reward there for the risk? You got to go and qualify them. So do your qualifying part, and then we can kind of work backwards from there.
Okay. I
Okay.
think I had another question, but when you, I'm like so because I have ADHD too, and like,
It's okay, man. So go back and watch the replay, and then jump back on with me Monday.
Okay. Oh wait, and,
Okay.
okay, one more question.
Shoot.
I've been driving around in my city looking for potential leads, and uh I'll always drive around like really distressed properties, and I would look up the ownership, and like almost every time I'll drive around the city, and usually I think I would think, oh, okay, it's just another wholesaler locked it up and purchased it because it's a company that owns it, but it's like a limited partnership, and they've purchased all these properties that were bought like back in from 98 all the way up to between '08 and 12 when the prices were really low.
Mm-hmm.
And the properties haven't been kept up. They're all distressed. And I'm wondering if it's just like some type of hedge fund or something, or if they're just like, if I can wholesale those properties.
Good question, man. You just got to reverse engineer who's buying them and find a person that can legally make that decision for you. So it's just a lot of legwork. You just got to like piss. Sometimes you can't get anywhere because they're big companies, but trust me, at some point someone's got to sell something. It's hard when a company owns 100, 150 properties because you got to get to the decision maker, and
Yeah,
that's
because
the
I looked it
challenge.
up on like PropStream, and like I looked at the portfolio for the ownership, and like
Mhm.
it says that they own over 4,000 properties, and they have like a negative equity portfolio. It's like
Yeah.
weird.
Well, they probably have some crazy strategy, but like your job's not to wrap your head around everything. It's just like you need to get in front of it. That's probably going to be a challenge. And you can make that like a little side project, but don't let it distract you from going out and finding regular sellers. Like that's a
Right.
challenge. Like it's going to be a huge uphill battle. So don't make wholesaling more difficult than it needs to be. Just go out and find motivated sellers, and you
Yeah.
work on a little side project because you're going to have to know somebody inside that company to get like a secret email or a phone number. But the odds are they're going to have to bid everything out, and they probably got some massive strategy they want to do with all those properties. So
Yeah.
you're
I
probably not
haven't
the
done my
first guy to look
portfolio
at that
yet.
property either. So think about it. If it's beaten up and vacant sitting there, you're not the first guy to come up with that idea. So they
Yeah.
probably have a bigger and higher use they're trying to do with it. And for that, I don't spend a lot of time on energy. The properties I try to get are vacant like that, and they have like an agent or a broker tied in it. And that's worth diving into because I can still penetrate it like locally or virtually. But like when they own 4,000, dude, like you're just a number at that point. You're
Yeah.
like a bank owned property. They're a nightmare.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't really think much of it either. I think you have to go, right? I just want before I leave, I just want to thank you guys, how everyone else does. I really appreciate you guys so much. And
Oh, go get it. So use those tips I used you on that first party. But remember, you got to qualify them because so many of you guys try to take down like this giant beast and you don't even like know they're going to do a deal with you. Like if you don't know if they're like even qualified, don't spend the energy on them. Just go. Eventually you find people that want to do business with you. And like the others, you always kind of like, we always have people want to do a deal now. And then I'm always working for the future deals. And it's just a constant dance. But so many go like, I got this guy, I got this. I go, does he want to do a deal? Like, have you qualified him? I got to call him back and do that. So go and do that and hop back on Monday. We'll talk.
all right, thank you so much, Rick.
Okay, man. See you. So guys, listen, if you enjoyed the content today, which was quite dicey and fun, like I enjoy it, man. Honestly, I dropped so many bombs today. It was like crazy. We could have done an advanced mastermind, but like this brain, dude, like I got so much stuff stuck in it. It's like, dude, doing this 20 years, man, it's like, I truly enjoy wholesaling. And I really, It will offer freedoms to you. But guys, remember, it's not always about the money. It's about having the freedom and living the life you want to live and the life you deserve. This is never a competition about who makes the most money. That's a very unfulfilling life to me. Do I want to make a lot of money? Yes, everybody does. We all have the same desire, but what are you willing to put on the line for it? You're going to have to make some short-term sacrifices. If you want to join us on this journey, make sure you like this button. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel because that's the best way to get notifications. And guys, check us out on our personal channels, Rick Ginn. I go live on there Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And make sure you check out my son's channel, Zach Ginn, and join us online for the largest active Facebook wholesaling group called Wholesaling Houses for Real. It's absolutely amazing. You won't get spammed. We actually filter the stuff. We don't waste our time, and we want to help you guys out. Guys, have a blessed day. Go out there and get deals, and I will see you guys